Welcome back to Psychotronic Coast to Coast. We just watched a hilarious Yeti film. Hilarious for me anyway. My co-host didn't laugh as much as I did, but my co-host, of course, is Owen Neal, the ever fantastical and mystical and ever revered by the mountainous cat people of northern Vermont. And yeah. So, what did you think of this movie, huh, Owen?
It was stupid, but the right kind of stupid.
It was stupid with the right kind of stupid. Yeah, yeah. Well, the okay, to fill you in, you guys. This is a sequel. This is Yeti. This is called Yeti: A Love Story to Life on the Streets. The first movie is called Yeti: A Gay Love Story, or Yeti: A Love Story. Um, it is a nearly incomprehensible film in which a bunch of random shit happens. A Yeti rapes a guy to death, and then apparently he's not dead, because later in the movie he is then seen not dead. And then some other random shit happens. It's really just a fairly incomprehensible film. This is done by the same team as the first movie, and they also did a movie called Street Team Massacre. And it seems to me that each film in succession that they've done has gotten better both technically and writing wise. As in, they got like the first one, which is Yeti: A Gay Love Story, is horrendously incomprehensible, but fucking hilarious and insane as this one is, and stupid and in all the right ways also. So it's still kind of enjoyable, not as enjoyable as this one. Let me put it that way. Then Street Team Massacre amps it up with energy, mango, full tilt madness. I think that's one of the few movie Gangbang and or League of Extraordinary Cinephiles. I don't remember which era we did that in which we did a live commentary. It's still available to watch, I think. Pretty sure that one's still available. If not, I should make it available. And someone should remind me. um, so, as they have gone on, they have gotten technically better, both writing and on the actual technical side of making the film. So, there's a definite evolution. This is definitely their best film so far. That being said, Owen, why don't you take us through it?
Okay.
That was the best intro I've ever done. Please cut me saying that.
Nah, leave it in.
You bastard! Cut it out. I demand it.
Slapping yourself on the back.
It was the best. It was off the cuff and it was the best, man. I'm sorry.
So, starts out, we see a pimp yelling at somebody. It's revealed to be a Yeti who he then rapes. Because he's a pimp, that's what they do.
Now, was that the villain pimp?
Yes.
Okay, his name is Pimp Billy Fonz, played by Jim Martin, who just eats up the scenery and every scene he's in. Chews up the scenery, excuse me. Let's choose the phrasing. Phrasing! Anyway.
And then we're introduced to the gay couple, which I don't remember their names.
Played
one in a wheelchair
by people I don't know offhand. I'm sorry. I'm not that great with names.
Yeah. Well, there's the main guy who's drawing a penis, just a straight up shot of a
He was the guy
penis.
who was raped to death in the first movie, who inexplicably instead was just pregnant.
Yep.
I believe, or maybe he just fostered the child. Fuck. No, I'm pretty sure he fell in love with it and then raised the child. Anyway.
Yeah.
They recapped the movie in the movie, so you don't have to see the first movie. It's okay. You can skip it.
He's drawing some cocks.
Oh yeah, fair warning. There's a lot of full frontal male nudity in this film, so if you are not secure in your masculinity, like some weirdo, then you may not want to watch this. Your masculinity will be challenged repeatedly with close-up, slow-motion cocks. All right, so heads up.
Pressed on the glass.
It really was. It was smeared and rubbed in circles on the glass. Put meat spin to shame.
But you hear the baby crying, so he kicks the naked guy out. Goes in the living room, and I assume his gay partner,
Yes.
who's in a wheelchair and he's passed out.
Yes, he's narcoleptic but refuses to admit it, and has fallen asleep in his wheelchair, and the baby is crying.
Yeah, he continues throughout the movie talking about how comfortable and magical being handicapped is.
Right? It's
It's
really
so
awkward,
comfortable he just
and
passes out all the time.
yeah, it's if you're really sensitive and PC, this might not be the film for you either. Heads up, there's some pretty offensive humor in here, and it's gonna offend lots of people on a lot of different sides, because they made that reference, and then there's the reference, a positive comment about having HIV. It was like, and I'm not saying like in some sort of like good positive way, but in like a why not? It's just HIV kind of way. And you're like, oh my Jesus, really awkward. So yeah, that's a thing.
And we see the baby Yeti. She's just a doll puppet.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
obviously a stuffed animal with a diaper on it. A stuffed animal puppet with a diaper on.
yeah. And this is where they kind of recap the first movie. He's telling the baby Yeti about how he met his father.
Yes. Yeah,
Which,
that's right. That's why, and it does use footage from the first movie. So.
and then they mention the what they call the uncle, who's the neighbor, which it cuts to that. He's with a girl, but he can't get off unless the girl hits herself in the vagina with a machete and it says his ex-girlfriend's name. That was what that whole scene was about.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
And then he just kind of ditches her and heads over, meets up with the neighbors, the gay couple and the baby Yeti.
I realize now that you're gonna end up having to watch the first movie because you're doing that thing where you wanted to watch all the Sasquatch films. So
Yep.
you can join him when he ends up watching it. It's free on YouTube. So on Troma's YouTube page. Anyway.
They walk down the street. Is this where he ends up in the strip club? Because he sees a girl outside. The neighbor, was he Dick?
God,
He sees
I
the
think
girl
so.
and he enters the strip club, meets the bartender, and whatever sex piss.
Sex Piss, who is in the first movie, and I guess another movie in which it's a running gag character. I think he's in Street Team Massacre, but not credited.
Yeah, he goes in there, ends up in like the jerk off booth. But at the same time, there's the he's sending the wheelchair guy off with the baby, and he says he works in a bookstore, which is clearly abandoned.
Yeah, like yeah, it's got to clean it up, and then just birds burst out the fucking window immediately. Clearly, no one's inside, and it's just a fucking ramshackle space.
And as soon as he's out of the way, the main guy goes in because he's actually a stripper. He dresses as a baby, and his thing is he has a tiny dick, and they throw diapers at him as tips.
Yeah, so he can put him on his baby Yeti that he got raped and impregnated with.
I guess jump back to Nick. He's watching the peep show of that girl dancing, who then whips out a machete and starts smacking herself and yelling saying that she's the ex-girlfriend, the dead ex-girlfriend, which gets him off.
He comes out of the window, and apparently it's not a two-way mirror. It's just a window.
And she claims that she just always does that, but nobody likes it. He was the first one that liked it.
It's so bizarre. Oh my god.
Things start kind of getting jumbled here, but I believe the pimp sees them with the baby Yeti, and he wants the baby Yeti.
Before all this, there was the mention of the cop mafia. Did that happen before this?
No, it happens after the Yeti is taken. So
the Yeti gets taken, snatched off the street, right?
No, he shows up at the house.
Oh, that's right.
He comes home in the wheelchair with the baby Yeti. he's there with two girls. They say some funny shit. He then shoots him, and they take the Yeti, and that's when the cops are there. And the cops clearly don't give a shit. But then one cop's, like, I know where the pimp is.
Yeah, it was
He's so and so.
Nene and some other lady. I can't remember the other lady's name. Character's name. I'm sorry. Linda? No, Linda was the other chick, played by Whitney Moore. I don't remember. I just remember Nene because it's played by Marissa Merrill, who's this lady I've seen in a few other of these like shot on video things. Just I recognize that lady, like okay. I'm gonna choose like Dead Season and Candace the Night and a few other things.
Yeah, they all act like the guy in the wheelchair's dead, but he's not. They hate his what he called frog tags.
They just pretend like he's not even like conscious and talking. They just act like he's not even alive and can hear them. It's great.
And the paramedic guy's like, "Yeah, frog tags. What are you, dumb?" And the whole time they're just being really mean to Dick's girlfriend there. Like, "I'm sorry, I'm distracted by that guy over there." He's like, "It's not a guy, it's a girl." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
What? I forgot about that.
They just kept missing it. That was also the scene where they left him on the floor to go find the pimp. And then the guy leans back in the door and he's just like, "Fuck you," to the girl for no reason. It's also where...
I was right. That was such a weird moment. And I remember going, what the fuck? Why?
Because nobody likes her.
There's a lot of... That basically happened a lot in the movie. And I go, what the fuck? Why? Pretty common.
One of the cops...
Followed by a howl of laughter. Or usually after the howl of laughter.
Yeah. But one of the cops mentions the pimp. He runs the police station, cop mafia, all that good stuff. And then he leaves. And then they leave. They're like, "We're going to go to the..." I don't remember. They're going somewhere, probably back to the stripper place. No, they're trying to find the Yeti. He mentions a Yeti that can help them find the pimp and where he is. And they like just start talking in the driveway, but there's a cop hiding behind a garbage can, which they would have clearly saw because they walked past him. But I guess that's the joke.
Yeah, so like they're walking towards the camera. All right, so we're here at the camera, and the trash can's here, and they walk from this side of the trash can and cross over it, and then the cop pops up from this side of the trash can. Like, where did he come from? Who knows?
He kept showing up and doing stuff. He like, "I heard everything. I know exactly what it means."
Yeah, I know. And then it's like, "Yeah, you want to illuminate the rest of us, please?" That'd be great.
Yeah. And then later you see him with binoculars. "I saw everything. I know exactly what it means.
I know exactly what's going on." That's what he said the second time. God.
But yeah, that cop warns the pimp. But they head off to Rape Alley, I believe it was called.
Yeah, I think it was called Rape Alley. Yeah, that was the name of the area of the town. Yeah.
The Yeti buys some
There's
heroin.
There's even a sign that says Rape Alley on it.
That's where the Yeti hangs out. Does his pimping, or not his pimping, but his hooking.
His cock slinging that dick.
But he buys some heroin, gets high, saves somebody from being jerked off on by the what were they called?
Jacks or something like that.
The Jack Boys.
Jack Boys. They just like to beat up people and jerk off on them.
Yeah.
And of
people
course,
that don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want it. Yeah.
So the Yeti saves that guy, but they beat up the Yeti and then jack off on his face.
Yep. And then our heroes stumble upon them after they've come all over the poor Yeti's face. And
they head off to a hotel room, and it takes one night for that guy to get the Yeti off the smack.
Yeah, and a sequence that is a entire reference to Trainspotting, with the baby crawling on the ceiling, the head turning around, and light coming out its face, and also in its own thing. There's also like crazy fractal things with penises and shit. Like, so if you've done drugs, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like if you've done some like high hallucinogenics, you're gonna get a little kick out of that. But
yeah, and during this, Dick heads off to the strip club, and he gets captured. And it cuts back to Yeti's all clean, and they're in love now, and then they bang for a long time.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, we see that the guy has took some blood from the Yeti, and he's pumping Yeti eggs into a guy who's pumping out Yeti babies who are all fucked up. So they just kind of meat grind them and eat them.
Yep.
Yep. This is where it gets jumbled again. At some point, they figure out that Dick is captured. So they go buy some guns from a Russian guy.
And then at some point they're walking down the street and one of the guns falls and like shoot fires off and someone screams and they just keep walking like, yeah, we don't need a gun. Whatever.
Happens multiple times.
Multiple times, yes.
They lose more than half their guns because the Russian was trying to charge them extra for the suitcase.
That's right. Charge
So they
one so
didn't
much for
take
the
it.
suitcase. Yeah. Why do you want so much for the suitcase? I don't know.
Also, during all this stuff, this madness, the wheelchair guy cheats on him with the Dick's girlfriend.
Played by
She's
Whitney
in a-
Moore, who you'll know from Birdemic and Birdemic 2 and a bunch of other films like what was there? There was the other one. I meant to leave it open and I didn't. My apologies. Beginner's Guide to Sex and A Horrible Way to Die were the other two notable ones. But she's in a bunch of stuff and she is on YouTube as part of the Metal Sucks channel. She has her own little show on there. Pretty cool. Yeah, that was all.
I believe they show up there before they head to the club. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm with her now. And he's like, whatever. I got a Yeti. And then they just leave.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're good. We're both happy. We're cheating on each other, but we're both happy. We're like, yeah, okay, cool. If only real life worked that well.
So they show up at the strip club, which is full of mafia cops.
Cop mafias. The cop
mafia.
Yeah. It's not the mafia cops, it's the cop mafia.
Same thing.
Not quite. The implication is a little different. No.
Anyways, they just shoot everybody.
Yep, there's a gunfight. People get shot with paintballs or CGI gunshots. I can't tell which.
Was it nickel beer night? So all the cops were drunk and couldn't hit shit.
Nickel beer night. God. I didn't even see that. Did someone say that? I guess I didn't hear that dialogue, I guess. Oh, I stepped away from part of that.
The pimp said it.
Right.
He's like, it puts asses in seats. He's like, but the cops are too drunk to hit shit. So yeah, they shoot everybody. The main bad cop, I guess, sneaks off, has a gun in his face. When the other guy, who was kind of helping him, shoots him. He also shoots the stripper for some reason, because I guess it was his ex-wife. Just a random thing.
I was right. He's like, that was my ex-wife. Okay, I remember that. Why? What the hell?
And then there's some more funny cop banter. I don't remember.
There's a line, funny cop banter was said a lot because making a joke that this is where you would put funny cop banter, but there was nothing funny or witty put here.
Nah, I thought the funny cop banter was pretty funny.
Well, no, I thought, but the whole point of it was like, we were totally supposed to put a funny cop banter line here, but instead left the line funny cop banter because that's the joke. I don't know. I really dug it.
But he's dead. And so the cop throws away his fake mustache because now he's a real cop instead of...
He's no longer part of the cop mafia. He left the life of cop mafiadom.
And he starts cleaning the other cop's blood off from the guy's mouth with his gun.
Oh,
so
God.
Then the good stripper comes out and shoots him, and then he just vanishes.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
He's been freed from whatever it was.
I'm free. What? What the fuck was that a reference to?
So the Yeti and his lover now, I guess, bust into the mafia guy's, pimp guy's office, and there's a fight, and he's going to kill the gay guy with his sword, but it's stopped by Yeti cock.
Yeti cock.
Which apparently is sword proof, but the rest of his body's not because the Yeti is killed. He's decapitated. And then
Again, I'm
and
pretty sure in the first movie he got decapitated also.
and he
It's been a
of course
while.
freaks out because his lover's dead, and he shoots the guy up, which I believe also during this point he reveals that he's Satan or a demon of some sort.
He's a fawn. He's Billy Fawns. That's why he's got the horns and goat legs. He's a fawn, as in the creature.
Yeah, it doesn't really help him because he dies to bullets and a cock through his head.
That's because he's not actually the devil. He's just a fawn. You know? Yeah.
Which
He
was
falls
obvious
and gets
from the
impaled
beginning.
on the Yeti cock right to the eye. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. It was obvious from the beginning.
And
Saw his
Nick
horn.
also gets saved by the stripper. We see a Sex Piss clone get chopped up. We didn't really mention that. There's Sex Piss
I'm
clones.
totally going towards safety, right? Oh, into the fucking fetus smasher.
Yeah, they all meet up.
Oh, that's right. So the Billy Fawns is trying to clone an army of Yetis. So he has these people getting impregnated by Yeti sperm via injections and having them birth out Yeti fetuses, which so far has been unsuccessful in
Yep.
living, but he keeps doing it, and so yeah, that's why there's a million Sex Piss clones because that was the first test or whatever.
Yeah. And one of them comes in the office, freaks out because his father figure's dead, hits the self-destruct button. And we also learn that the main guy and the pimp are brothers, which
We're
he doesn't
about to
really
learn
acknowledge.
right before he gets shot in the fucking face and impaled by cock.
Boom, self-destruct, building's gonna blow up. For some reason, the stripper and the baby Eddie run out a back door. The other two run out the front door, and a talking Yeti time traveler shows up.
Oh yes, a total Back to the Future happens.
Says get in. They get in. They're like, what about the baby? He's like, he'll understand. And they warp off, and then it's the stripper in a bikini walking on the beach with the Yeti, saying that they'll find the dad someday. And they poof into the future. It's all Yetis. The pimp has his own statue, and the main guy is wanted for crimes. And then he makes a joke about sex crimes, and everyone kind of face palms.
Yep.
And then in the sky, you see the pimp saying it's not over. And then boom, credits. And then a scene after the credits, which you didn't even see. It was the guy in the wheelchair and the girl. They wrote a book about those two. Lloyd Kaufman offers them alcohol in a dog dish, which they drink out of like dogs while
Yeah, I
he's giving
saw
them a
the
blowjob.
thumbnail with Lloyd Kaufman, so I knew he was in the credits. But then I accidentally closed I hit the wrong button and closed. I'm like, shit.
And then he picks up the book, and it cuts to them at like a book signing, and they look like smug assholes. And Sex Piss shows up, and he says he's gonna hunt down those two because they killed his father figure because they're on the book cover. Which I'm pretty sure when they're writing the book, all they were writing is things that they hated about them.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how that's a book. Like, we hate these two guys.
I don't know, and here's a whole list of why we hate these two people. Alternating, of course, for your amusement.
Yeah, that's the movie.
So, a bit of information. I don't think this is available for consumption for other people yet. I know many people who are on the production staff of this film, both in front and behind the camera, and one of them I will not name who sent me a copy of this for review, and this was like months and months and months and months ago, and now nobody remembers who sent it to me. So nobody knows how I got this. I know how I got this, but I don't want to get that person in trouble. So, but no one remembers how I got it, and now we're reviewing it. So when it finally comes out, you can say that we're the reason why you decided to check out this fucking insane movie that you totally need to check out because it was hilarious. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Did you like it?
I did.
Yeah. Do you recommend it?
For certain people, yes.
I would say with friends, with alcohol.
I'd say not the average moviegoer.
Oh God, no. We're not the average moviegoer podcast, though, so you don't have to worry about that.
Hey, you never know who stumbles across
No,
these.
no, 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 no. Hold on. All our fans are fucking weirdos, freaks, and losers like the rest of us. All right. So,
Then
uh,
yeah, they should go watch it.
yeah. So that's who
You
we're talking to.
losers.
Well, I mean, and the freaks and the weirdos. You know.
Nah.
Nah, not them. Just the losers. You know, video files and the like. So, what are we watching next week? Oh, right. We're doing our Christmas thing, aren't we?
Next week we're watching another movie tonight.
Well, that's true. But hold on.
But yes, in December we're watching
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Starting picked it.
Starting next week, we are doing another episode tonight of this show. After we watch the movie, after I take a break to not wear headphones for a few minutes, can make my head stop hurting, and we will do all that stuff. And then we'll be back with what was the movie?
Throwback.
Throwback from 2013, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so yeah, we're doing all 5 Silent Night, Deadly Night films, starting with the first one, going to the 5th one, and that's starting next week. That's why we did Yeti because I said we'd do it, and then I made us watch Phobe because I'm a dummy. So we're doing double bill tonight, which is not a big deal because Yeti movies. So, yeah, there you go. We'll see you after a while.